I'm Phil Murphy. Coming up, we're talking about Saturday's game for the NFC 1 seed in San Francisco. We're talking a former All-Pro corner suddenly available for hire. Plus, we got some New Year's resolutions as we get ready for the second season, the postseason. But before we look to Week 18 beyond, Week 17 wrapped last night in Atlanta. The Rams can't win the NFC West, but if they won Week 17 and 18, they're the NFC 5 seed. Falcons fond of playing spoiler on Monday Night Football. Matt Stafford down 7-0 in the second quarter, throws a touchdown pass to somebody employed by Atlanta, Jesse Bates. Stafford's 32nd pick six, tied for Brett Favre for the most in NFL history. Falcons up 14-0. Dan, after Atlanta beat Buffalo Monday Night Football, you said of Bijan Robinson, that dude's different. Second quarter, same dude, still different.
Phil, looks like that same run. It's an outstanding job in the outside zone. Drake London gets the safety, and nobody is going to catch that guy in the open field.
Rams, we're playing Sean McVay, we're playing Matthew Stafford, and we got to come out ready to go in the second half.
Swagu, Raheem Morris neglected to mention the reigning defensive rookie of the year, Jared Verse. Big man ballin'.
Man, huge play from Jared Verse here. We actually had him on Monday Night Countdown before the show. Glad he made this play. They needed it in a bad way. This game got close right away and gave the Rams an opportunity to try to get a win late. Yeah, the Rams were down 21-0 at the half, 3 minutes left. They tie it at 24. Puka Nacua, 5 catches, 47 yards. That touchdown on just 10 targets. Bet they can't wait to have those two back together with Davante Adams. But third down in plus territory, give it to Bijan Robinson. He had 238 in that Monday night win over Buffalo from scrimmage, 229 here. Falcons in field goal range for Zane Gonzalez. This time kicks it over Jared Verse, which is advised. 51 yards and good. Arthur Blank feeling a third straight win. Falcons up 3. But Matt Stafford had opportunities. Just got to get into field goal range. Misses Xavier Smith, who was wide open. The MVP favorite at day's onset can't believe it. Later in the drive, Stafford to Puka Nacua on the sideline. Looked for a moment like he made the catch of the year, even on replay, but upon further review, the rule of incomplete on the field stood because Nacua did not survive the ground. The ball bounced out right at the end. Would have been one of the catches of the year, and now we're at 5 seconds left. Desperation. Again, decent effort, maybe a second left on the clock. Either way, Atlanta, a third straight win since being eliminated from the playoffs. Yeah, 37-year-old quarterback won on Monday Night Football, not the one we expected. So we know the Rams will be on the road come Wild Card weekend. We knew that, but their seed determines just how cold they'll be. With a win and a Niners loss next week, LA's going to head south and a good ways east to face Tampa or Carolina. But if they lose in Week 18 or the Niners win, they will face the Bears or the Eagles. Mina, that was a slow start for the Rams in this one. I guess LA didn't know the varsity game kicked at 8. What happened with this offense in the first half?
You know, Matthew Stafford obviously has had an unbelievable season, unbelievable stint in Los Angeles overall. Sometimes he just has games like this. Like, he's an aggressive thrower of the football, and there's just been moments during the course of his entire career where these turnovers come in bunches. That doesn't concern me because I don't think it points to anything that is likely to repeat itself. It was just one of those games. What does concern me a little bit, I think the absence of Davante Adams was finally felt here. The Rams tried a little bit of the 13 personnel, and they had some success there. But on the whole, the Falcons did a good job of taking Nacua out of the game. Obviously, some of his big plays were negated by penalties. And it felt like that connection with the other receivers wasn't there. The offensive line injuries for LA also showed up. Matthews' turnovers mostly weren't because of pressure, but the Falcons' 4-man rush did have success against the backups, left tackle and guard. Fortunately for LA, I don't think those are long-term injuries. Probably hoping for the postseason they're back to full health. And that matters a lot, Marcus, because Matthew Stafford, great quarterback, definitely one, though, that needs to be kept clean.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, MK, with the turnovers. It's one of those games, and you would like to think that it's an anomaly. The only thing I recall, obviously, the Carolina game looked very similar. The turnovers in bunches, and you see still how good and prolific this offense can be when they get it rolling, but this is the concern. The problem is that the concern comes right at the tip of the playoffs, and we've seen Matthew Stafford do it, so there's no need to be shaken. You just hope that they don't have one of these throughout trying to make a run to the Super Bowl. The turnovers is what kills this team. Offensively, I don't think that you can stop them, especially with Davante Adams reinserted into the lineup once he gets back being healthy. It's about their execution and ball security. And the beautiful thing about this game is that one bad playoff game or one bad outing can cost you an opportunity at a Lombardi. You expect Matthew Stafford to be hot. You expect this team to play at a certain level. I saw some things defensively that I didn't like a lot, but ultimately I still feel good about where the Rams can be at the end of the year, and I think they can be in the Super Bowl. But you have to avoid these games on your way to that. Carolina and then again in Atlanta. And those are the two that I would point to as games that would cost this team an opportunity to be where they should be at the end of the season.
Dan, yesterday in Atlanta was week 17. You go back to the fourth quarter in Seattle of week 16, the Rams are up 16. This is a team that's lost a lot of footing over 5 quarters for a team that was long looking the part of Super Bowl favorite. What's your level of concern with LA?
0. I have 0 level of concern with this football team and certainly this offense and its quarterback. I think there's a lot of overreaction to last night. I think number 1, Devontae Adams, their left tackle and their right guard are not in there. 2, this team had 500 yards of offense in the last 3 games leading into tonight. They went and put 500 plus against the Seattle Seahawks 10 days ago. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, what happens to Seattle's defense? 2 huge plays that are 1, a guaranteed touchdown, and 1 throw to the 1-yard line to Puka get wiped away because of penalty. And they still have a chance to win the game. They have, if Puka somehow makes that catch or it's not overturned, or there's a penalty that's thrown on Tutu Atwell for pass interference down the field, they're at worst case going to tie the football game, and no one's going to be talking the way they are today. So I don't have a high level of concern. I think the body of work for the head coach and the quarterback deserves absolutely that. And I think this offense will be very much so rolling this weekend, and it's still the team to beat in the NFC.
Dan, you touched on 2 big plays wiped out by penalty. The Rams had 3 gains of at least 30 yards wiped away by penalty in a game with only 4 accepted flags for them. They'll know before they kick against Arizona if they have a chance at the 5 seed. If San Francisco beats Seattle, LA is locked into the 6.
All right, to week 18 in the NFL and a win or go home or go golfing game. Ravens and Steelers Sunday night for the AFC North title. Last week, the Steelers were heavy minus 1,400 favorites to win the North with the Ravens 8-1 long shots. But after the Steelers lost in Cleveland and the Ravens upset the Packers at Lambeau, Baltimore once again favored to win the division. Pittsburgh coach Mike Tomlin speaking today on the missed opportunity. It is new on SportsCenter.
Good afternoon. Welcome to AFC North Championship Week, as I like to refer to it.
Like you said, it's humbling to be in games like this, but is it also frustrating to be in this position after having a chance to clinch the division a week ago?
Man, it's a lot of things that you could get frustrated about in our business. I've learned to kind of always move forward. My windshield is much bigger than my rear view. I'm certainly interested in learning from our experiences, but I'm equally as interested in learning from our experiences that happened much earlier in the process. It's all food for growth from my perspective. Frustration doesn't get the job done. I'm singularly focused on putting together a good plan and preparing this group for this awesome opportunity that we have.
Steelers reporter Brooke Pryor joining us live from Pittsburgh ahead of Sunday's big matchup against the Ravens. Brooke, we just heard how Mike Tomlin feels about the missed opportunity last week, but what are the Steelers players saying about their missed opportunity to clinch versus the Browns?
Well, Jay, as good as that windshield and rearview mirror line was for Mike Tomlin, I think rookie Derek Harmon's going to give his coach a run for his money on some of these catchy sayings, because Harmon said yesterday, don't let any loss get to your heart and don't let any win get to your head. That's how the Steelers are approaching this week. They don't want to get too high and they don't want to get too low as they go into this winner take all or loser go home and go golfing, as you said. And Cam Hayward also talked about that. He said, as a competitor, I am so frustrated that we lost. But he said also as a competitor, I want to say bring it on to Baltimore. And that's kind of what this team is struggling with or is faced with this week, is using that loss as fuel going into this game. But as Mike Tomlin said, it's not just about words. That response is action-based. So when the team gets on the field that I'm standing on right now, here starting tomorrow, we'll see just how ready they are to respond and maybe win this game.
Okay, all right. Let's break that game down a little bit. Darnell Washington suffering a broken arm in the loss to the Browns.